Yes, folks, it's John G. Sutton here, Tales from the Jails. I'm going to talk today about the liquid COSH, which was infamous in its time. Now, I'm not completely up to the mark with what's happening in the prisons absolutely now, but if we go back to the 1970s, 1980s, use of the liquid COSH was quite prevalent. It was used to control extremely dangerous and aggressive inmates most of the time because they were off their heads. I think, really, you go attacking staff, and what do you expect? But the way it worked was, don't forget, let me say about liquid COSH. What is it? How do you define it? Well, they call it the common garden term for it is largactyl, or chlorpromazine is its technical name, and it's usually administered by in liquid doses of say 10 mils or 5 mils, whatever, with 50 grams, 50 megagrams, But in the event of extreme requirements, it was administered by syringe. Now, it's a fantasy that staff could actually go into the, hospital staff, like myself, a hospital officer, could go into the pharmacy or into the drugs cupboard, get themselves a syringe and go and jab it into the inmates. You can't do that. It was always at the instructions specific, and I usually require the instructions to be in writing, before I would administer anything like that, but always from a doctor, Not that they were reluctant to issue those instructions at all. If they got somebody kicking up, what you would do is you'd phone up the duty doctor in the main hospital and say, it's hospital officer Sutton here, we've got dire situation, give him the name of the inmate, and he'd say, well, usually this is God's honest truth. He'd say, well, what do you think we should do with that, Mr. Sutton? I say, well, I think, give him a syringe of largactyl in his backside, that'll quieten him down, and we'll take him to the padded cells. I'll write that up, get on with it, and off you went. Quite a few inmates ended up like that. I mean, it's a sad state of affairs when you've got to do that. But the thing is, some inmates absolutely became... I can understand it. I mean, at one point, Strangeways Prison had over 2,000 inmates in. Now, it was only designed for 975 in the reign of Queen Victoria, built in the year 1868. Strangeways Prison. And the cells are like 10 foot by 6 foot, designed for one man. And when I was there, round about was it 1980, 1981, 82, the prison population regularly exceeded 2,000, and the inmates were 3 to a cell. No sanitation. All you had was a plastic bucket, and that was it. That's what you used for sanitation. If you're locked in there 20, 23 hours a day, which very often they were, the inmates are going to get restless, shall we say. And the problem is, of course, when fights break out, the staff move in, things get out of hand, and they send for the hospital staff, come and deal with this. Because very often, you couldn't get people down the block if the block was full. Or sometimes the block just didn't work, or the people continued to make trouble down the block, despite having met the school bully. Yeah, seriously. So the hospital staff were really the last resort. We had padded cells, you see. Stripped out padded cells. And you get a syringe full of chlorpromazine, largactyl. You go in there, you have 2 or 3 of your staff. One takes the legs, one takes the arms, put them on the floor, hold them down, inject into the upper outer quadrant, of the buttocks. And it usually took about a minute, and then that was it. No more resistance. Drag said inmate away to padded cells, strip all the clothes off, throw them a heavy-duty blanket in a plastic piss pot and shut the door. It took about 2 days to come round from that. When they did, very often they were completely changed. And then they'd go on to a regular dosage of Largactil, which they got from the clinic, sometimes twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. The staff I work with used to say it's 10 mil and a cough. So you get a little bit more than 10 mil. And inmates who were subjected to this were walking around like they were zombies. They were in a trance. I used to call them the Walking Dead. Believe it or not, this predates the film, the TV series. But I used to say this is a bloody Walking Dead. They're zombified. Yeah, but that's the way it worked. That's the truth of the liquid COSH. It wasn't given out willy-nilly. It had to be prescribed by doctors. But the doctors that worked at Strangeways and other big local jails like that, like Walton Jail, Armley Jail, Pentonville, Wandsworth, Parkhurst on the Isle of Wight, all that, they were on side. The doctors were on side. They would operate in a manner that enabled the system to function. But it was a disgusting, disgraceful insult to humanity. Absolutely. The government brought in an order that all medications for inmates be listed, and enumerated. And this order came down to the senior medical officer at Strangeways. He said, "We're going to do with this." So he gave it to the chief officer, and the chief officer gave it to me. He said, "Design a system that's going to detail all the medications on a daily basis, and we need to outline how many sedatives we're giving, what's the deal with all that." So I designed this system. I never got anything for it. He said, "This is very good, we'll try it." So they tried it, it worked. And then he took my name off it and put his name on. Well, that was a senior medical officer did that, put his name on it. I never got no. And it was adopted throughout the prison system. Oh, that's the way it worked, isn't it? Yeah. If you're just the guy doing the job, you ain't going to get no thanks, are you? It's always going to be the people at the top. And now, I hope you've been watching my TikTok channel. It's called Jailer John. I've put some little funny ones up today, which you might find amusing. You'll see it on your mobile, TikTok. The channel's called Jailer John. Anyway, I'm going to sing you a song now. This one's dedicated to Larry because I know he likes this. Larry's got numerous signed photographs and pin-ups of this particular, shall we call him a pop star? Yeah, in his room. And I know he's told me in the past, how much reverence he places when he plays these records that bring back happy memories of his youth when he knew George Foreman, because Larry's not as young as he looks, His goat's older than him, by the way. Anyway, here we go. This is I'm Leaning on a Lamppost. Originally recorded by George Formby, and here I am going to make a complete mockery of it. I realise that you aficionados of singing will probably want to switch off now. So there you are, I've given you the song dinger. We all recognise the warning. Leave the room or face the music. Let's face the music and dance. So you could dance around if you would like. Paula might have a dancer, and Catherine. Here we go. I'm leaning on a lamp. Maybe you think I look a tramp. Or maybe think that I'm hanging round to steal a car. But no, I'm not a crook. And if you think that's what I look, I'll tell you why I'm here and what my motives are. I'm leaning on a lamppost at the corner of the street in case a certain little lady comes by. Oh me, oh my, I hope that little goat comes by. I know she always get away. She don't always get away. But anyhow, I know that she'll try. Oh me, oh my, I hope that little lady comes by. There's no other goat I would wait for, goat, but this one I'd break any date for. I won't have to ask what she's late for. She wouldn't leave me flat. She's not a goat like a girl like that. Oh, she's absolutely wonderful and marvellous and beautiful, and anyone can understand why. I'm leaning on a lamppost at the corner of the street in case a certain little lady passes by. I think I've done enough to that, don't you? I ruined it. Larry's in tears now, aren't you, Larry? He can't bear it. His favourite song ruined by John G. Sutton. That's it, folks. That's all for today. Don't forget to get my book. It's on Amazon.